Okay, we are live. So I just want to welcome everybody. Welcome to another Sabbath podcast. I'm Mercy Ballard, Med Missionary co-founder. Dr. Joyce Che and myself, we started Sabbath programs on April 2020. So it's been about 5 years now. So time is flying. So the reason we started this, it was because of the beginning of the pandemic. We wanted to provide a support group to navigate with this these very unpredictable times. So one of our focus had been to empower all of us with tools to apply the health message that God has given us as an answer to what was going on. So that's why we've been doing this, and it seems that more and more things might come up. And so we want to be prepared. We want to be able to help our own families, ourselves, and help our neighbors, help our communities with the health message that God has given us. Well, today we have a program, and the title is Overcoming Mpox. So this is formally called Monkey Pox. So I hope that this is a blessing to you, and also that is a great tool to overcome specifically Mpox, but not just that, but many other issues that might arise, any other pandemics that might arrive. God has given us these super healing foods to be in a good shape, even though the times might be very difficult. So I'm going to share my screen, and also I'm going to start with a word of prayer. And if you have any questions, please type your questions in YouTube. We're not doing Zoom, but we are doing YouTube, only YouTube now. Okay, let's pray. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you so much for the wonderful God that you are. I just want to thank you because you have the answers even in very difficult times, because there is nothing impossible for you. And so we want to give you the honor and glory. We want to thank you because you have provided for us what is needed for these times. So I just want to ask you to please bless this program, that we all can apply this health message, that we can all apply these super healing foods that you have given us, that are so simple yet very powerful. So please bless us in Jesus' name, amen. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen. Okay, so overcoming Mpox. So the Mpox is oval. The shape, you might see here a little bit of the virus. It's a virus. It's shaped a little different than the last virus, the pandemic that we had that was kind of rounded, but this is oval, but it is also a virus. Okay, so Mpox is an infectious disease. And before they used to call it Monkey Pox. And so, people can get very sick with this, but most of people fully recover. So I don't think at this time is something so serious, but, people die. So in that case, we really need to do anything or everything that we can do to recover in case we get it, even though that we have not seen cases this year that we have heard. But it's a global outbreak. Started 2022. So this included countries in Africa. And so there is two types of this virus. One is called clade 2, and the other one is 2B, and one is 1B. So it is more common, the clade 2B, although we also have the other one in some countries, but it's not as common. Okay, what are the symptoms? The symptoms are, the most typical symptom is a rash. It's a little different rash. It's a rash that it is a crust after, and so it lasts about 2 to 4 weeks, this rash. But you can also have fever, usually comes with fever, sore throat, headaches, muscle ache, back pain, low energy, swelling, lymph nodes. So the whole process could last a month. Okay, so now we're gonna talk a little bit about the rash. Usually it can affect the palms of the hand and soles of feet, face, mouth, throat, growing in genital areas. So it starts as a flat sore, which develops into a blister filled with liquid that may be itchy or painful. So once the rash starts to healing, there's gonna be lesions that dried up. It's gonna be a crust, and then it will fall off. So that's mainly with the Mpox. You know, you probably have Googled some pictures, and you know they don't look so pretty. Okay, well, how about transmission? Transmission is touching somebody that has been contaminated, or materials that have been contaminated, or also infected animals. So it can be transmitted from animals. If somebody's pregnant, the virus is gonna pass to the baby. Also, people with multiple sexual partners are at high risk of acquiring Mpox. So what do we do? So they treat the fever. They pay close attention to nutrition. Hydration is important. Skincare also to prevent secondary infections. The issue with, you know, rashes like this is that they can get a co-infection, which can be virus. It can be other viruses. It can be mainly bacterial. So also it can be other co-infections such as HIV. So we for us when we use natural remedies, is the treatment is going to be a little different, but we're going to be careful also that the rash is not going to be ended with other infections. So we can put some of these super healing foods that we're going to talk about into the skin also, especially the onion broth, to avoid infections. Okay, diagnosis. So it is important to distinguish from chickenpox, measles, bacterial skin infections, scabies, herpes, syphilis. So it can be confused with this. So, but this is something that is a little different because it's gonna be liquid into this, you know, blisters. So what they do is that they use the test that they're going to use is going to be the PCR. Seems to be the best test. So they go directly, they swab areas in the rash really hard. So get some fluid from it into the swab, and that's what they're testing. They say that the blood is not really a good testing tool. Okay, mortality. The symptoms of Mpox in humans are similar to those of smallpox, although the mortality rate is lower. So, you know, reviewing all the studies, I have not seen that this is really high mortality. So I have not seen any of those yet. In recent years, the concern over a potential global pandemic has increased due to reports Mpox is spreading across Africa and other parts of the world. So I don't think that has happened yet. So it could happen. That's why we want to be prepared. So this study was posted in 2023. But, you know, according to the World Health Organization, so they were saying that over 180 in 20 countries have reported Mpox between January 2022 and August 2024, or with over 100,000 laboratory confirmed cases. So they say it has been 100,000 cases and over 220 deaths. Okay, so that was from the World Health Organization. Haven't seen those on the studies yet. Okay, so this is something, a study from 2022 that was 70,000 cases. Mortality less than 1%. Okay, so we're just gonna keep on going to the most important thing, which is what to do in those cases. Because we have also people that follows missionary in Africa in those countries. So that's why this is very important for especially those countries where we have at this time there are cases that they can apply all these natural remedies that God has given us. Okay, so as of May 2024, 23 out of 26 provinces reported at least one suspected case. 2024 alone, 77,000 suspected cases with a fatality ratio of 5.3. So this was published 2024. This is from the International Journal of Infectious Disease. So children younger than 15 years represent 67% of the suspected cases and 84% of the deaths. So they are more prone to be affected seriously. Children are younger than 15. And children under the age of 1 are reported to be 4 times more likely to die. So we have to be more careful with kids, the younger age, we have to be more careful. Okay, so according to this study that was published 2023, since May 2022, Mpox has spread rapidly in non-endemic Mpox areas. The virus has spread more than 112 countries, 88,000 confirmed cases, 147 deaths. But this was last year. Okay, so what do we do to overcome serious infections? Specifically, we're going to talk about virus infections. So it's very important to optimize our immune system. How do we do that? Of course, number one, I would say we have to eat healthy, remove the ultra-processed foods. You'll be surprised. There is hardly anybody that does not eat ultra-processed foods. So this is very important to remove from our diets. What are the ultra-processed foods? I'm just gonna mention some. Can you believe bread is ultra-processed if you're not eating the healthy bread? Chips are ultra-processed. So all these super common foods, pizzas, ultra-processed, all those foods are ultra-processed. You know, we have one study that we did on processed foods. It's just amazing. We hardly can open a refrigerator and not find ultra-processed foods in the refrigerator. So I will clean up my refrigerator to give me the best chance to survive from whatever pandemic that might come. Okay, microbiota. You know, microbiota is the bacteria, viruses, fungi that are in the body. So we have to distinguish the microbiota. We have the pathogenic microbiota and we have the beneficial, we call it bacteria, but it's more than bacteria. And so when we eat healthy and remove sugar foods and we remove processed foods, ultra-processed foods, and we eat more natural, balanced, plant-based. The plant-based actually is going to be helpful. It's anti-inflammatory. Plant foods and processed balance is anti-inflammatory foods. But meat and meat products is pro-inflammatory. So we want to, you know, do our best, right, to survive in these times that are more difficult than ever. So we want to build up the beneficial bacteria in order for us to overcome any infections. It can be viruses, bacteria, or fungal infections. And we more likely will if we have more beneficial bacteria. But if we have more pathogenic bacteria, it's going to take over, and then we're going to be seriously ill. So to have a good health and to be having a good immune system, we had to have a very balanced microbiota. So we call it normobiosis. And that's one of the reasons a lot of people are sick, because they have very unbalanced bacteria and they eat inflammatory foods. So that's going to be very important. The diet is going to influence the microbiota composition. And so that's going to be one of the keys. Diet and infections. According to this study, was published 2015, agrarian diet high in fruit and legumes fiber are associated with greater microbial diversity. We want a lot of diversity of good bacteria. And so here's mentioning what are those good bacteria, which are hundreds of good and also hundreds of not good. So Western style diet is high in fat and sugar, low in fiber, decrease beneficial vermiculites that metabolize dietary plant-derived polysaccharide to short-change fatty acids and increase the pathogenic bacteria. So we really want a plant-based diet that is high in fiber. So this plant-based diet is whole plant-based diet. It's not a refined plant-based diet, because what feeds the good bacteria is the fiber. So if it's refined, we're not going to have enough fiber. So this is going to be super important to eat a whole plant-based, anti-inflammatory, unprocessed. Fiber intake. Common dietary strategies such as high protein and simple carbohydrate intake, low fiber diet, and food avoidance may adversely impact the gut microbiota. Okay, so this is what I was just saying. Eat foods with a lot of fiber to have a good impact in the beneficial bacteria. Okay, so this is talking specifically about eating fiber foods. This is an evidence that a specific dietary fiber improve the integrity of the epithelium layer of the intestine. So this is going to have an impact on this layer that covers our intestines. So it's going to increase resistance to pathogenic colonization. So colonization is when there is a lot of pathogenic microbiome. So the fiber is going to fight it. Very important. The fiber is going to fight it. And it's going to reduce the risk also of colorectal cancer, increased mineral absorption also. So it's going to it has many, many benefits, the high fiber intake. It's just amazing. Okay, sugar. Everybody knows sugar is not healthy, right? Especially for infections. You just don't want to eat high fibers of sugar, not even concentrations of fruit juices, because that's high on sugars. So you want to eat the whole fruit. So it won't be hard in your pancreas and won't be, because high sugars are going to feed the pathogenic bacteria. Okay, however, a suitable amount of glucose is indispensable for the immune system, but its elevated amount leads to excessive pro-inflammatory cytokines production. Okay, so too much of it is going to cause inflammation. Okay, so excessive fructose is a sugar from fruits, right? Intake disrupts the body immune homeostasis by promoting immune cell metabolic rearrangements. So it's gonna cause an imbalance. That's the homeostasis. An imbalance, too much of fructose. And also it's gonna alter the gut microbial community. So it's gonna alter the microbiome, which is gonna affect the permeability. That means it's gonna cause leaky gut. So the bacteria, the balance of the microbiome has to do also with leaky gut. So if we eat lots of sugars and we're gonna not eat fiber foods, we're gonna end up with leaky gut. Leaky gut is linked to the microbiome, and then we ended up sick. So that's why, you know, there's people that eat to build your immune system. It doesn't affect them or hardly affects them. They recover. But people that do not eat healthy, you know, sometimes it is much harder to recover. We have found that sugar diets reduce bacterial killing ability. So it makes groggy the white blood cells, which are the ones that are going to kill the bacteria or viruses. So that's why we do not want to eat any sugar, especially when we're sick. We just want to remove it altogether. So we're going to move into what are the super healing treatments, foods that God has given us. And this is going to be, all these studies I'm going to show you are studies that are to overcome viruses, different type of viruses. I think I found only one study specifically for Mpox, because, you know, all these studies like for the, you know, pandemic that I just went through, they came after. So there's some, but after the pandemic was going on, a lot of studies came. So because Mpox is not that prevalent yet, so there's not many studies, but we can base natural remedies in how these foods beat virus of different kinds. And I'm pretty sure later on when they do studies on Mpox, these super healing foods are gonna, you know, probably be studied. Okay, so onion. Quercetin has application value and potential strengthening as a clinical drug. They say that the onion, you know, because one of the components of the onion is called quercetin, and this is very powerful. So this is one of the foods that is going to be powerful if we want to beat a virus. According to this study, it shows may effectively treat and prevent coronavirus disease. So there's many studies about this subject, how onion and the COVID-19. Okay, this next study shows that among other super healing foods like a ginger, turmeric, garlic, onion, also basil, I wouldn't say black pepper is a good thing, but in the study, they did the study, you know, they mention it because they think that when you use this component with turmeric, for example, it's much potent, things like that. But, you know, I just want to show you this study because among other great super healing foods, onion has a benefit against acute respiratory tract infection. So this is good for an infection of the lungs, which you know, this can affect this virus can also, it can be at the beginning, some of the symptoms also are like having a cold. So This is good for the lungs, pneumonia, respiratory distress, and has been it's been effective also with the COVID. That was a serious infectious disease. Okay, quercetin is the major polyphenolic flavonoid found plant and food products such as berries, apple, cauliflower, cabbage, nuts, and onions. I think it's the number one is onions on quercetin. That have traditionally been treated as cancer and virus. So here's the big word, antiviral, and used to treatment of other diseases. Onion also here, according to this study, is showing that has antiviral properties among other properties like anti-inflammatory, antioxidant. So reduce infections, symptoms, and duration. Okay, in this study, it was onion and garlic because allium is in garlic and onion. That was also, it was very powerful against the C infection. Okay, in this study, among pumpkin seeds, lemon balm, and stinging nettle, onion has been studied for many conditions, and it's proven that it's effective in heart conditions, blood pressure, but also viral. As you see in the bottom of the study, shows bacterial, viral, mycotic, and parasite infections. So all the way across any infections, but also is mentioning about viral. Okay, we're gonna go now to another super healing food. And this other super healing food is garlic. So there is so many studies on garlic. I was actually surprised that onion, I think it was over 8,000 studies on onion. It's amazing that the medical literature is showing all these studies about all these healing foods. But I'm more amazed about like, how come they don't apply all these things that have been proven to be so effective? But, I just love these studies because it proves that, God created all these incredible components for us to recover, to be healthy. Okay, garlic. Here it says against bacterial, viral, mycotic infections, but it also helps cardiovascular disease because dilate the arteries. And according to this study, it was also for the SARS. That's the other name that they use for the C viruses from last 4 years. So this, they said, can be a treatment and prevention. See, garlic as a preventive measure and also as a treatment. So see, there you have this powerful therapy. Here's another study that's showing same thing, that stop the multiplication of the C virus. So that means that it stops it because this virus can reproduce by the million, by the second. So you want to stop the reproduction. So you stop the reproduction, then you're okay. You can deal with it and overcome it. So if anybody has some type of this infection, the Mpox or the C infection, as soon as you feel it, some symptom, start doing these things that are so simple. God has given us so simple, inexpensive things. So this stop the multiplication. So, when I get something like, feel that I'm getting a cold, immediately I do gargles. I start drinking garlic with lemon. I start drinking onion broth. I cannot be sick, I'm too busy to be sick, right? like most of you or all of you. So I just cannot be sick, especially when I'm going to have programs, because I have a lifestyle center, run a lifestyle center. You know, I'm like, oh, I think I'm getting sick. I cannot be sick. There's no way. The work is so hard every second. I mean, from the morning till the evening. So I start doing all these simple things that you're learning today. And so this is good to build up your immune system, and also good to beat it. You know, as you see, multiplication. So stops the multiplication. That's what you want to do. And stop inflammation too, according to this study. Combat, at the end, it says combat viral infection. Okay, another study about garlic, and also however, the addition of wild garlic provide additional direct antiviral properties in some formulations. Okay, so this study was done with a wild garlic. I haven't seen the wild garlic, but some countries might have that. Okay, so this has been used, according to this study, for as an antiviral and antibacterial remedy. And this study came up 2020. Another study, garlic to overcome the C virus. It says here, garlic is one of the most efficient natural antibiotics against the wide spectrum of viruses and bacteria. So they mention what is it in the garlic. Is the allicin, allicin, quercetin, and it has more than that. You know, I believe this works better when you do as a whole. You know, the whole garlic is just allicin. Same thing with the onion. Instead, removing the quercetin and taking that, is better to have the whole food, because it has many other components. It's like the onion has 400 components that God has put it in there to be disease. So it is garlic. I don't know how many it has garlic, but it has many components. So we don't want to remove, for example, the allicin and just use that, but we want to use the whole thing. Okay, so this is like in 2020. See, these are, you know, kind of recent studies before, because of the C virus, you know, that was in November. So those are new studies. Now the next super powerful food that God created is a turmeric. So turmeric has shown broad activity as an antimicrobial, right? Because the virus is a microbe, limiting the replication. This is good news. So stop the replication. That's what you want to have. You get infected, you start doing these super healing foods, and then it stops the replication. That's what you want to. You stop the replication, the disease is going to stop. It's going to fade it. It's going to fade it. It's not going to spread right over, but it's going to fade it. So this is, in this review, we summarize recent studies supporting the development of curcumin and its derivatives as broad-spectrum antiviral agent. This study came also 2020. Turmeric, prophylactic for the C virus in the clinic and public health setting. Okay, so here we see a study that is good for HPV infection, which is a viral infection. Also for other things, cancer, cervical cancer, and also, I saw one more here. Yeah, a carcinogen. So it's a anti-carcinogen, turmeric. Yeah, I done a presentation just on turmeric, and thousands of studies of turmeric. I think it's more than 7,000 studies on turmeric. So I did a presentation just on turmeric, how good it is for so many things. It's just so amazing. So we're doing a series of super healing foods for our members in Med Missionary. So we went through, first was the turmeric, then we did ginger, and then we did onion, and we're gonna continue. We're just doing a series. But today we're just doing this program on viruses. Ultra bioavailable curcumin could be a new available alternative for medical application in chronic B viral hepatitis in cancer to the liver, saving millions of lives. Wow. I wonder, they sell the curcumin usually in capsules, and they sometimes sell just the whole turmeric in capsules. I was listening Dr. Michael Greger, and he said they did studies on curcumin and was good. And then they studies on turmeric, but turmeric was better. So, and some people say, can I have just the capsules, turmeric capsules? Well, I was saying, we need like 2 teaspoons of turmeric powder. And then how many capsules do you have to have 2 teaspoons? So probably 6 capsules, something like that. And it's expensive. Why not just take the powder? So besides that, who knows what they put in the capsule? There's binders there that some people can be sensitive to it. So we'd rather to have the natural way. Here we have promising therapeutic agencies against a wide range of viral zoonoses. This is in animals, but targeting different proteins and signaling pathways. Okay, wide range of virus. In this study, turmeric. So this is a study shows that is good for infections of the lungs specifically. Okay, it's mainly lungs, and this study came in 2020, and also the C virus, because the C virus was tough, right? So we can say that if we beat the C virus, is going to also do that for the Mpox. Okay, we're gonna go to the next super healing food, and this is the oregano. So this is one study I found the impacts in it. So that was exciting for me. So it says natural bioactive components, particularly polyphenolic, are promising for creating powerful antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, immune stimulating, and antiviral agents. I like that. This is specifically for this virus. As a result, they are potentially effective therapies for preventing and treating viral disease, such as infections caused by pox viruses, including the recent pandemic Mpox. Yay, I love this study. It's the only study I found for the Mpox. And this was released this year because right now, they say that this can be an epidemic or it can be a pandemic. Now we're gonna see probably having more of these studies if this goes wild, but I'm not sure about that. Okay, so we're gonna continue with this study. And Oregano bulgari, that's the other name for oregano, also can inhibit the growth of different pox viruses, including Mpox, vaccinia virus, variola buffalo pox virus, fowl pox virus, see many viruses. So, if I have a viral infection or any type of infection, I will do all these natural remedies because I know it's gonna be effective. Okay, let me see if I can keep on moving. Okay, here is another study about oregano, and that is a powerful antiviral. Okay, and this study showed that the outcome of the results prompted evaluation of the antiviral potential to 10 bioactive components such as silico biology tools. Okay, let's keep on going. Oregano, together these results demonstrate the potential of therapies targeting the viral envelope membrane. So there is a membrane that covers the viral. So oregano is supposed to break that membrane. So that's delaying the disease progress. That is a good thing. And this is specifically. And this is another study that the C virus is being effective for C virus here. So and many other virus here. Also the flu and malaria. Wow, malaria. Remember, malaria is it can be deadly disease, especially in those countries where there is a lot of these problems. Well, that's the answer. You can take the oregano. We're gonna go over how to take this super healing foods in a very effective way. Okay, I just want to show you a few slides on the spirit prophecy. This is Testimonies, Volume 7. It says, God will give his people ability and tact to prepare wholesome food without these things. It's probably something else, unwholesome things that she was talking prior. Let our people discard all unwholesome recipes. Let them learn how to live healthfully, teaching to others what they have learned. So, once we apply the health message that God has given us, now we can teach others, right? Because now we have our own testimony of healing or our own testimony of eating healthy, and now we can help others. Otherwise, the message doesn't have any power. Okay, let them impart this knowledge as they would Bible instruction. Let them teach the people to preserve the health and increase the strength by avoiding the large amounts of cooking that has filled the world with chronic invalids, right? All these super unhealthy foods that people like so much. By precepting example, make it plain that the food which God gave Adam in his sinful state is the best for man's use as he seeks to regain the sinless state. Okay, so the health reform is progressing. There's probably gonna be more and more and more that we need to learn. It seems that God's people had been stuck for 30 years or 20 years. You're just plant-based, and the way it was 20 years ago, they're still eating that way. They're still eating these processed foods, veggie meat, processed foods that have been, they start doing that maybe 20 years ago, 30 years ago, and they're still doing that. When when there's so much research about these processed foods are incredibly unhealthy, reason why we're so sick. So there's going to be more and more changes that we need to do depending of all the changes that, the agricultural system is doing and things like that. So let the diet reform be progressive. The food question has not yet reached perfection. There is still much to learn in this line. The Lord desires the minds of his people all over the world to be in such a condition that they can receive his impressions regarding the combining of certain articles in the production of food, which will be a necessity, but are not yet produced. So it'll be wonderful if we can start producing foods. Maybe our entrepreneur friends can do this. Ourselves, Dr. Joyce and I have a project that we are probably start implementing perhaps this year, and to do more production of foods. Perhaps we can bring it back, the tortilla, but other foods that are healthy, because is such a need right now. You know, the pace of living is so fast and people don't have time to cook. But if at least some healthy foods are produced, maybe that will somehow help. But we really want to be in the kitchen. We should be in the kitchen. The eating has to do with the life. Scanty, impoverished, ill-cooked foods is constantly depriving the blood by weakening the blood-making organs. It is highly essential that the art of cookery be considered one of the most important branches of education. Can you believe that? The cook, you know, one of the doctors that we were working with research, he told me there's culinary medicine. He calls it, this is a culinary medicine. So this is the art of cookery is be considered one of the most important branches of education. Okay, so before I move into this, I just want to tell you a little bit about research. We involved in some research. We were helping the students at Loma Linda. It was the second year students at Loma Linda. We had them for 2 summers giving elective classes, lifestyle medicine classes. And so we were trying to see if they can publish some of our cases. And I think we're going to have one case that's going to be published probably this year, and we will share with you once they're out. So these are with our protocols, you know, patients that have been following our protocols from very difficult conditions, and they have been recovered. So we use all these things. They're so simple. These things that we're going to mention, these recipes that we're going to mention, because as you can tell, it's not just for viruses, it's for almost any disease. But, you know, of course, as long as we change our diet also. So then we have another case that we're working on it. This is, and we have now, they're not students, these are doctors. We have a GR doctor, Dr. Sweet, and Dr. Juan Carlos, that is doing residence in surgery. And then we have Dr. Josh that is involved in this research, and myself. So we're working in a case to be presented in the medical literature. So these super healing foods with these recipes, you know, is what we use for those cases. So here's one. This is the onion garlic broth. So if I have the Mpox, I will be doing this. I'll probably be doing 4 to 8 cups a day, because I will want to recover really fast and stop the reproduction of the virus. So this is 1 cup of one onion, 3 cups of water, 5 cloves of garlic, and salt to taste. It's very tasty. You know, if I feel like I'm kind of sick, I drink as much as I can for 3 days, and then I'm fine. And then the garlic lemon drink, the way we do it is 2 cloves of garlic, 1 tablespoon lemon juice, 4 ounces of water, and we just blend it. So we usually tell our clients, our patients, to multiply this by 6, and then have it ready for 2-3 days. And you have to take this with meals. Oh, because raw garlic is too harsh. So you have to go with meals. The other recipe for the turmeric, as you see, these are so simple, super healing foods. We do 2 teaspoons daily, and that's the dosage. And we mix it with fat. So usually do coconut milk and a little bit of honey. And it tastes super good. And we do it every day. And you can do it 5 times a week. But if I were sick, I wouldn't miss a day. So this is super powerful therapy. And then we have, for oregano, this is what I do, but oregano is very powerful. You don't want to do too much for too long. It works fast also. We prefer oregano, do it in an inhalation form. But, you know, if I have a serious condition, I will do this for a short time until I start recovering. because the oregano that we use is oregano pure. When it's diluted with another oil, it just doesn't have the power. So what we do is we do 1 drop of oregano oil, pure. You have to be sure it's pure. And then you just put 1 drop and put in 2 cups of water. That's it. And you drink that water throughout the day. You don't drink all at once. It's too much. It's too strong. You can also kill the good bacteria. So you do it throughout the day. So these 2 cups you're going to finish throughout the day. And then you do it maybe for a few days until the virus is totally stop the replication of the virus and start killing the virus, because oregano is super potent. In countries that they don't have the oregano, I will just do a handful of oregano, boil with maybe a couple cups of water, and drink that the tea. So that I will do, and just be sure it's not too strong, and because the flavor might not be as great, but that's what we've been doing in countries that they do not have the oils. Not every country has it. In Peru, you can hardly find, that's my country, you can hardly find oregano oils. So my brothers love that because they have seen how powerful it is for colds and things like that. So they asked me to send it to them. So when somebody's going to Peru, I send to the person few bottles, tiny bottles. They're expensive, but they're powerful. If you can get it, I will always I travel with a little bottle of oregano, because you can get infections just flying. A lot of people are coughing, and you can easily get infections. So I gargle my mouth and things like that, or drink a little bit of it. And I put it in my water bottle, 1 drop, and, it's full, shake it really well and start drinking a little bit. If I see somebody is coughing really hard, things like that. So, so these are the super healing foods. And that's, what I want to say is that God has given us these very simple things to do to recover. And these are universal. They're not hard to find it. There is some treatments that people say, oh, buy this and this and this and that, and herbs that you never heard it before, and who knows, and they're expensive, and herbs are wonderful, but there's countries that they cannot afford it, and they don't even know those type of herbs. In countries that we should get familiar with those herbs and use it because they're great for different things. But for countries that they have no idea, these are universal things. I think God has provided these universal things for everybody to have access to it. So I just love these super healing foods that can be used for different purposes in different ways, and that can bring healing to us. And as we're going to be faithful to eat healthy and follow all the other laws of health, because it's very important to follow all the other laws of health, which is, of course, the water, the sun, the rest, trusting in God. All those laws of health, the breathing, are super important, but those are simple. What is hard in these times that we live is the nutrition part. So that's why we had to work hard. So I want to see if anybody has any questions. So I'm going to my phone to see if we have any questions. Okay, somebody said the commandment say thou shalt not kill, also include not killing animals. Yeah, I believe that, we don't have to put the animals to suffer. And, and the way they're treating animals now just for profit, it's just inhumane. So I'm agreeing with that. If you appreciate the presentation, please leave. Let's see, another said, their broth of garlic and onion, can I add oregano and celery? That's not a bad idea. So they're asking me in Spanish. Sí, se puede agregar orégano y apio. Seguro será un caldo bien rico. So that's a good idea. You know, you can add it oregano, which is the powerful thing, you know, is if you don't have the oil, you can just add the oregano to that broth. Okay, so if you have any more questions, you can type it. But if no more questions, I'm just gonna do some announcements. And but if you have questions, just keep typing, and I'm gonna start making announcements. We have our class and med missionary training, which we have a protocol. All these healing foods are in the protocol, but there are other foods also that we use in the protocol, and we have a schedule. We have a schedule of how to take it, when to take it, when it's more effective, when it's not effective, and that's part of our protocol. Also, we do have a we have a menu, a specific menu to recover. And actually, the study that the students of Loma Linda medical students did, they call it intensive lifestyle intervention. So that's what they call our protocol from med missionary, intensive lifestyle intervention. And we teach you all that. We give you the diet how you should eat breakfast and lunch. It's a suggested diet that you can make some changes to it, but you know, people that just want to know exactly what to eat, you have that there. So we have a lot of natural remedies videos that we made that we use in our lifestyle center. We also do the Bible and the pioneer work, and also. And so I will highly recommend that you take it. We have other doctors that come and help here and there, do class. We have Dr. Annabelle, which is a cardiologist. And then we have Dr. Arby, that's a internal medicine. We have a Dr. Sweat, that is a GI doctor. They come here and there to teach classes that very interesting. So I love working with them too. Of course, we have Dr. Joshua, which is the primary instructor for med missionary. So the next class is coming the 22nd, September 22. For Pacific time, is at 7 to 9. For Spanish program, it's at 6 to 8. Then we have the programs for other languages, Portuguese and Romania, and that's they have other schedules. You can check in our website, medmissionary.com. So please go to medmissionary.com and sign up for our course. You know, for all you learn and people that have been sick for so many years, you can check in this channel, Med Missionary, for testimonies, health testimonies. You're going to see people that have been incredibly sick that have recovered and are recovering. So it's very important they follow the program faithfully, because if they don't, you know, we're not going to see changes. You know, we had to follow all these principles well to see incredible changes. So just want to encourage you to sign up. Also, for people that sign up, they have the option to do the more advanced trainings. In the most advanced training, we train them how to open a lifestyle center. We train them how to support themselves with a Detox to Go program. We believe that our medical missionaries that are doing God's work, they should be able to support themselves and not be in poverty. So we have a program for that, which is called Detox to Go. Also, we have another program we are super excited about. It's called Autoimmune Recovery Program. This is a program that you can bring it to your church. So this is the advanced programs that we train for people to bring into the church and in the communities. And so several churches have been doing this already, but we haven't advertised as much because we needed the books, the companion books, the student book and the manual for the teacher. So finally they're here. They arrived 2 weeks ago. Finally, they're available now in wholenessmarket.com. And so now people can start. Now we're going to promote the churches. Churches in Canada are going to start doing this. Tomorrow, Sunday, some churches are going to start the autoimmune recovery program, and there's more churches already planning to do in October. So if you're interested to bring this program to your church, to spread it to the community love this program. When you invite them, we have cards to invite people, the community, they super love it, and they come. So it's a way to give the health message, to introduce, and then of course, we want the whole package, right? We want salvation, bring salvation to these people. So this is coming, this is here already. So this is super exciting for us, the autoimmune recovery program. And we have actually a specific website for that. We're still working on it, but you can go there and see some information. It's called ARP.diet. ARP.diet. And you can find us there. And then lastly, we have our missionary camping conference coming up next month. So we're very close and we're so excited. So that's going to be October 23rd, Wednesday, October 23rd. You can arrive for, we're going to have opening on Wednesday nights, and then till Sunday breakfast, till the 27th. So we hope you can go. And we have our special website also. It's called medmissionary.camp, C-A-M-P, medmissionary.camp. So there, when we eat healthy, we have to prepare our foods from scratch, right? So we don't, you have to spend time. If you want to have good health, you have to spend time cooking, and we do that. But imagine that we're going to provide that food for you, the anti-inflammatory from our protocols, breakfast and lunch there while you're there. So then you can relax and have a vacation and hear these amazing messages to help us to support the church and doing God's work, the medical missionary work, spreading the message, because this is what opens the way, open the door. So we having that the 23rd of October. So I hope to see you there in October. So this is going to be in San Diego, California, at Dr. Mario and Alejandra, his wife. They have a lifestyle center there. It's almost 200 acres. Can you believe in the mountains of San Diego? It's just amazing. It's a little paradise there, so don't miss it. And if you live in the area, you can just come and just register. You don't have to sleep there, but you come and register. Some people are doing that. And if you live in the area and you cannot come to all the 4 days from Wednesday to Sunday, you can come on Sabbath. So you can register for Sabbath. So we're just so excited about this first event, first medical missionary conference we're going to have. So we're going to have wonderful speakers, wonderful medical missionaries sharing what they're doing around the world. And so I think this is going to be an amazing, exciting program. Okay, so well, that's all for today, and we are going to see you next Sabbath. Dr. Joyce Che will be with us next Sabbath talking about, I think it's the medical missionary work. Okay, well, God bless you, and we'll see you next Sabbath. Take care. I want to finish with a word of prayer, okay? Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you so much because you open opportunities for us to do your work. And we just want to thank you because you're always there to help us, because you send angels to work with us. This much needed, it is a work of love that you want us to do, to love our neighbor and to relieve the suffering that they might be having. So I just want to ask you to continue using us, continue opening opportunities and ways to expand your kingdom, and give us love to be wanting to do all on our parts, that we'll be willing to work with all our might. So I just want to thank you because you're available for us anytime. And thank you so much. In Jesus' name, amen. God bless you. Take care. Bye.